A dim light sparkled in the dark sea. This was Xiao Chen's lunar shadow saber. Xiao Chen's face lit up in joy as he revealed a wide smile. He stretched his hand out and the lunar shadow saber quickly swam back to him. Shoo! The lunar shadow saber increased its speed until it arrived before Xiao Chen. Then, he grabbed its hilt and returned the saber to its scabbard. Lunar shadow, no matter where you go, even if it's to the ends of the world, I will always find you and retrieve you. Xiao Chen grasped the saber tightly and promised resolutely. The stifling feeling the saber gave off when he held it immediately lessened. TL note: I am guessing the stifling feeling is a result of the lunar shadow saber not accepting him yet. Do remember that there are 2 weapon spirits in the lunar shadow saber and one of them has not accepted him yet. Woo! Woo! Suddenly, a strange sound rang out in the surroundings. Xiao Chen frowned and raised his guard. He extended his spiritual sense and discovered that there were many sets of skeletons around him. These skeletons were different from the ones in the shallower waters. They did not drift on the current. Instead, they seemed to be deliberately moving towards Xiao Chen. There were even 2 dim lights in the eye sockets, like they were alive. Quick, leave. These are witch fiends, which are formed by the resentment of demons and humans. Don't get trapped by them. Lang Yu's anxious voice came from the spirit blood jade on Xiao Chen's chest. Even without Lang Yu's warning, Xiao Chen also felt something strange about these skeletons. So he quickly swam upwards. However, it was already too late. There were too many witch fiends. They had surrounded Xiao Chen for some time now. 5 or 6 skeletons descended from above. They held balls of fluorescent light in their hands. When the skeletons were only 5 to 6 meters away from Xiao Chen, they threw the balls of fluorescent light at Xiao Chen. These penetrated Xiao Chen's essence shield and entered his forehead. Immediately, wailings of ghosts and wolves resounded in Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness. The balls of fluorescent light turned into malicious spirits that sapped Xiao Chen's mental energy. Oh no! It is a mental attack. Xiao Chen focused himself and quickly gathered his spiritual sense in his sea of consciousness, turning it into a dazzling golden deity. The golden deity held a sharp sword, which gave off a dazzling sword light. Then, it killed the malicious spirits in the sea of consciousness one by one. When all the malicious spirits disappeared, the sapped mental energy returned to Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness. It even seemed that the mental energy in the sea of consciousness became stronger than before. Ka-ca. When the malicious spirits in Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness died, the witch fiends blocking him shattered. Then, they quickly shriveled into nothing in the dark depths of the sea. Lang Yu, who was within the spirit blood jade, was greatly startled at the sight. Although these were the weakest type of witch fiends, even a martial monarch would not find it easy to deal with such mental attacks. Xiao Chen was merely a medial grade martial king, yet his mental energy was so ridiculously strong. No wonder he could wake from her charms with just a thought. Xiao Chen understood what happened. He smiled faintly, making up his mind to stay here longer. The mental attacks of these witch fiends were completely useless against him. Instead, he ended up swallowing their mental energy as well. Mental energy was not easy to cultivate. It would be too wasteful to allow this opportunity to slip by. After 1 hour, all the witch fiends blocking Xiao Chen fled in every direction. They avoided him like he was the plague. Xiao Chen laughed rambunctiously as he chased after the witch fiends. If they had only mental attacks, he would not be afraid of them. Boom! While Xiao Chen chased the witch fiends happily, a bright light burst out in the darkness, illuminating the bottom of the sea, clearing the eternal darkness. A bright glowing skeleton walked out of the light. Every single bone on this skeleton was like jade, looking like a very exquisite piece of art. There were 2 bright lights in the skeleton's eye sockets, giving off an unexpected sense of holiness. Fu Si. When the Jade Witch Fiend saw Xiao Chen, it swung its skeletal hand forward. A beam of light turned into a sharp knife and headed for Xiao Chen, slicing the water apart as it did so. This is an advanced Witch Fiend, and a rarely seen wholly attributed Witch Fiend at that. You do not stand a chance. Leave quickly. This Witch Fiend could make its mental energy solid and achieve such a level of might. Xiao Chen agreed that he was no match for it. The instant the light appeared, he immediately swam upwards. Who? The advanced Witch Fiend swung its hands several times and light knives made of mental energy quickly headed towards Xiao Chen. The light knives sliced the scarlet sea like tofu, separating the water into pieces that drifted apart. How is that slicing water? It is slicing space apart. Understanding what happened, Xiao Chen felt dread in his heart. It looked like he had kicked an iron board this time. He should not have been too greedy for mental energy. Friend, since you are here already, why leave? Suddenly, a solemn voice rang in Xiao Chen's mind. The advanced Witch Fiend pointed at Xiao Chen's head and sent out 9 beams of light. Then, the beams of light turned into a cage, heading for him. When the cage dropped towards him, the space in its way seemed to shrink, trapping him within it. This was the power of the natural laws. Xiao Chen never expected that mental energy could have such power, that it could even manipulate the natural laws. Xiao Chen did not wait like a sitting duck. He shouted a ferocious war cry and the deity that he formed with his spiritual sense rushed out from his forehead. The deity used its sharp sword to chop down on the cage. Bang! Xiao Chen had gathered all his spiritual sense to break that cage. The sea trembled as the bars of the cage were sundered. The deity became very dim, leaving only a faint image and flickering indistinctly. Xiao Chen's spiritual sense was damaged. He felt lethargic and weak, like he was about to fall asleep at any moment. However, there was no time to rest. Xiao Chen could only force himself to perk up and recall his spiritual sense. Then, he rushed to the broken section. However, just as Xiao Chen reached that section, the cage mended. The advanced Witch Fiend went into deep thought. It was unknown what it was thinking. The advanced Witch Fiend did not attack again. Instead, it pointed at the cage, which turned back into 9 beams of lights before returning to its body. Strange. The mental energy is so impure yet it can break my 9-dragon prison, the advanced Witch Fiend said, feeling suspicious. Xiao Chen started to feel dizzy and he saw stars. His mind was now extremely weakened. It felt like he would fall asleep at any moment. Xiao Chen forced himself to stay awake as he quickly swam up. He could not fall asleep here, otherwise, he would end up in the stomachs of the strange fish. Just when Xiao Chen thought about the strange fish, a large school of strange fish appeared before him like a tornado. He smiled bitterly. I am really unlucky. The spirit blood jade on Xiao Chen's chest glowed. That was a sign that Leng Yu wanted to come out. He stopped her, saying, "Don't come out. You can't help." Ka Ca. Xiao Chen drew his lunar shadow saber and a scarlet light flickered on his forehead. The saber released a scarlet light, unleashing the state of massacre entirely. Kill. 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 The pool of blood in the scarlet throne churned. Xiao Chen's mind filled with thoughts of massacre and his saber technique became incredibly sharp. Saber lights flashed in the scarlet sea. With every swing, dozens of strange fish were chopped in half. However, there were too many strange fish. They were everywhere, front, back, left, right, up, and down. The fish opened their jaws lined with sharp teeth and headed for Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen protected his vital points as he unleashed the sharp state of massacre at its peak, allowing his attacks to become extremely ferocious. Anything that got in his way would die. Fu Tong. After killing for an unknown period of time, Xiao Chen finally leapt out of the Scarlet Sea. His wounds looked extremely horrible. His white clear wind robes were dyed red. Drenched in a brew of scarlet water and blood, Xiao Chen looked like he had just emerged from hell. Now that Xiao Chen escaped from the waters, he would not be harassed by the strange fish anymore. The sleepiness that he suppressed hit him with full force when he relaxed. Under the burden of his physical injuries and mental weakness, Xiao Chen's heart felt swollen and his body sore. "I'm taking a nap. Don't wake me up unless there is something urgent." Xiao Chen muttered the order as he fell towards the vast scarlet sea, floating on it as he slept. He could no longer resist. Shoo! The spirit blood jade on Xiao Chen's neck flickered and the Eros demon Leng Yu came out. When she looked at the fast asleep Xiao Chen, she shook her head. "You are really reckless. How do you know that I would be useless against those corpse demon fish?" Leng Yu looked up to see the pitch-dark sky. Staring into the distance, she said softly, "So, this is the Sky Dome realm. To think that it was once the strongest realm of the 3,000 great realms. Indeed, it has declined greatly." Xiao Chen slept very soundly for a total of 3 days, drifting about on the sea. When human cultivators saw him and all the blood and wounds, they took him for a corpse. The humans were not interested in corpses at all. Since Leng Yu hid in the spirit blood jade, she did not attract any trouble. When demons came over, wanting to take away Xiao Chen's corpse, Leng Yu would come out, indicating that this prey was taken. So other demons would leave. Such situations happened several times daily. Another 3 days passed like that, but Xiao Chen did not wake up. However, Leng Yu started to feel frustrated. She whispered, "This fellow, he definitely knows that I will watch over him. That's why he dares to sleep so soundly." Leng Yu had used her blood. So if Xiao Chen died, she would die as well. Even if she hated this, she had to continue protecting him. After a few more days, Leng Yu suddenly heard footsteps. She sensed human auras, so she quickly hid in the spirit blood jade. A team of 10 people in the distance headed in Xiao Chen's direction. Someone immediately discovered Xiao Chen's body. That person exclaimed, "Big brother, there seems to be someone lying down in front." The person leading them was about 40 years old. He had a stern expression and carried a sword at his waist. He was a half-step martial monarch. The teams that dared to move around in the inner area would have a half-step martial monarch to lead the team. Otherwise, it would be difficult for them to survive. The middle-aged swordsman shot a quick glance over. He showed no interest as he said indifferently, "It is just a corpse, there is nothing strange about it." The middle-aged swordsman did not say anything. He placed his right hand on his sword hilt and slowly headed for Xiao Chen's body. When the middle-aged swordsman arrived within 100 meters of Xiao Chen, he drew his sword and launched a sharp sword chi. The sword chi quickly flew towards Xiao Chen. Dang! Leng Yu quickly surged out of the spirit blood jade and sent forth some energy, blocking the incoming sword chi. Eros demon. Why is an Eros demon together with a human? What's going on? It really is an Eros demon. There really are all sorts of strange things. When the cultivators behind the middle-aged swordsman saw the hazy-faced Leng Yu, they were all astonished. They quickly retreated several steps as they discussed it. In this battlefield, Eros demons were extremely mysterious. The legends about the Eros demon stated that ordinary cultivators would not be able to survive it. However, the middle-aged swordsman did not panic. An envious expression flashed on his face. He smiled faintly and said, "I nearly made a mistake." Unexpectedly, this fellow managed to force an Eros demon into becoming his sex slave. When the middle-aged swordsman saw the hazy-faced Leng Yu with her large, round eyes, he said calmly, "Don't make things difficult for me. I will just retrieve something and leave. I will not injure or kill this person." The charm of the Eros demon was a fatal temptation for humans. Before she did anything, the middle-aged man had already felt his entire body heat up. If the Eros demon really worked her charms, given the middle-aged swordsman's determination, he did not have the confidence to resist her. Leng Yu smiled and said, "No way. This person has a bad temper. If you take away his spatial ring, he will definitely punish me. Big brothers, please just move on. Pretend you saw nothing. Leng Yu's voice was very sweet, so sweet that it penetrated their bones. Even though the cultivators behind the middle-aged swordsman had retreated farther back, they felt their minds go blank when they heard this sweet voice. They felt very comfortable, like the girl next door was acting coquettishly with them. The middle-aged swordsman composed himself and thought, the Eros demons definitely deserve their fame. I already started cultivating my mental energy, but I still cannot resist her. Fu Si. The middle-aged swordsman was prepared long ago. He took out a dagger and stabbed himself in the chest 2 centimeters away from his heart. The intense pain forced the middle-aged swordsman back to his senses. His expression turned grave as he raised his sword to kill Leng Yu. Leng Yu was extremely astonished. She had not expected this person to use such a drastic method to break her charm technique. The middle-aged swordsman had pierced himself very accurately. The dagger's position would make a cultivator feel the threat of death. In the face of death, no cultivator would be able to think about their desires, unless the Eros demon's charm technique had been cultivated to its limits. How hateful. The side effects of my forcibly traveling to this realm are too great. Otherwise, such tricks would be useless against me. Leng Yu thought anxiously to herself as she miserably blocked the swordsman's attack. The sword chi of a half-step martial monarch was extremely ferocious. Bang! 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 Sword chi flew everywhere and waves tossed on the Scarlet Sea. Blood flowed non-stop from the middle-aged swordsman's chest as he had an extremely maniacal expression. The swordsman forced Leng Yu to retreat. He laughed maniacally as he said, feeling regrets now. You should have just agreed. Ha ha ha. Now, not only I will take his things away, I will take you away as well. I still do not know that an Eros demon tastes like yet. Boom. The sword technique changed and a huge sword chi swept out. Leng Yu could not dodge it in time. The sword chi struck her and she vomited a mouthful of blood as she fell miserably to the water. Originally, Leng Yu already wore very little clothing. When the sword chi struck her, her clothes became even more tattered, unable to cover her body at all. Aren't your charm techniques very powerful? Try using them on me and see if they work. Ha ha ha. The middle-aged swordsman laughed maniacally as his sword light danced around. Leng Yu, who had just gotten up, could not block more than a few moves. So she was knocked down by the attacks again. Many horrible bleeding wounds appeared on Leng Yu's fair skin. After 7 or 8 minutes, Leng Yu was heavily injured. She lay weakly on the Scarlet Sea. The middle-aged swordsman smiled coldly and said, "What a reckless fool. Tie her up. We will all enjoy her tonight." At this moment, Leng Yu looked very alluring. The blood of the cultivators behind the swordsman was racing already. When they heard his words, they quickly rushed over. Then, the middle-aged swordsman fixed his gaze on Xiao Chen. When he saw the universe ring on his finger, he smiled faintly and said, "You are even able to subdue an Eros demon, you are very capable. Unfortunately, heaven wants you to fall. You can't do anything about that." The middle-aged swordsman stretched his hand out to take Xiao Chen's universe ring. Just as he bent over, Xiao Chen, who was lying on the sea, suddenly opened his eyes. "Even if heaven wants me death, it would not be your turn to benefit from it." Fu Si. Suddenly awake, Xiao Chen got up and smashed a palm strike on the dagger in the swordsman's chest. The dagger pierced through the middle-aged swordsman, inflicting severe injuries in an instant. He vomited mouthfuls of blood and turned extremely pale. The middle-aged swordsman quickly retreated. Horror filled his face. He had not expected Xiao Chen, who seemed to have stopped breathing, to wake up at this moment. "Very good, you would have been fine if you had not awakened. I would have just taken away your things and left. Now that you've injured me, I will cut you into 1,000 pieces." The middle-aged swordsman roared ferociously as he brandished his swords. A resplendent light flickered as an eagle formed by essence flew towards Xiao Chen. The eagle looked very realistic, all its feathers could be seen clearly with plenty of details. It flew close to the water as it rushed at Xiao Chen. A vast energy kicked up the scarlet water. The further the eagle flew, the higher the surge of scarlet water. When the eagle was 100 meters away from Xiao Chen, the scarlet water was like a huge wave. Xiao Chen waved his hand and the lunar shadow saber appeared from the universe ring. The saber hummed and came out of its scabbard at lightning speed. Wukui shakes the heavens. A pure state of massacre formed a scarlet Wukui tree. It carried the saber intent with inextinguishable sharpness as it fell from the sky. Bang! The Wukui tree struck the body of the eagle. The eagle cried out before turning into essence and dissipating. However, the might of the scarlet Wukui tree did not diminish. It pressed on that huge wave and a formless energy spread out from the tree. The frighteningly huge wave was immediately suppressed. The surging scarlet sea turned calm again. A scarlet Wukui tree stood stably on the water, not moving at all. After dealing with the swordsman's counterattack, Xiao Chen looked towards Leng Yu. He saw that her fair skin was covered in wounds, looking very pitiful. The middle-aged swordsman's 9 subordinates had wretched appearances as they rushed excitedly towards Leng Yu. "You are seeking death." Xiao Chen's gaze turned cold and he stomped heavily on the water. The force of this stomp was very great. After he leapt into the air, a pillar of water quickly followed. Glittering Wukui. A scarlet Wukui tree branch appeared from nowhere, flickering with a scarlet light as it headed for a cultivator. The sharp killing chi merged with Xiao Chen's saber intent with inextinguishable sharpness. The scarlet tree branch seemed like saber chi that fell from the sky. The cultivator in front felt a bone-chilling sensation. He quickly turned around and drew his saber. He launched a large number of attacks to block this saber chi. However, the tree branch, which was infused with the state of massacre and saber intent, was very sharp. It pierced through all the attacks before piercing through that cultivator's protective essence shield. Finally, it pierced through his chest. That cultivator's heart shattered. Naturally, he was now very dead. That person fell backwards with his eyes wide open. He died filled with dissatisfaction, crashing into the water when he landed. The other 8 people were startled. They quickly scattered and surrounded Xiao Chen and Leng Yu at a distance. Xiao Chen helped Leng Yu up and asked, "Are you all right?" "That person injured me too severely. I do not want to return to the spirit blood jade," Leng Yu said miserably as she wiped the blood off her lips. Xiao Chen nodded to indicate his understanding. It was not that she could not return to the spirit blood jade. It was that she would enter into a deep sleep when she returned, able to come out again only after she recovered. Leng Yu would not be able to come out for at least half a month. Xiao Chen took out a set of clothes from the universe ring and handed it to her. He said calmly, "Sure, if you say you don't want to go in, you don't have to. I will deal with them. Attack together. This brat is able to subdue the Eros demon. He must have a lot of good things." The remaining 8 people summoned their courage, their greed eventually overcoming their fears. They soared into the air and sent all sorts of killing moves at Xiao Chen. When Xiao Chen saw the multicolored attacks, he did not dare to underestimate them. He swung his saber forward and formed hand seals with his left hand. Scarlet light lit up the sea below his feet. Wukui blossoms. After Xiao Chen finished forming the hand seals, he carried Leng Yu. A scarlet flower bud enveloped the 2 of them. Bang! 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 The 8 sharp attacks struck the flower buds. Xiao Chen's chi and blood surged, and his face flushed as he resisted the pressure from the flower bud. The vast energy rebounded off the flower bud and formed a strong shock wave that created a wall of scarlet waves. Not far away, the middle-aged swordsman saw the flower bud and hesitated. Then, he took out a medicinal pill, swallowed it, and sat cross-legged on the water. The injury the middle-aged swordsman received on his chest was horrifying. Originally, he had thought that Xiao Chen was only an ordinary peak medial grade martial king and that this wound would not be a problem. However, the truth was far from what the swordsman expected. Xiao Chen was able to break his killing move at 60% power. Ordinary superior grade martial kings would not even imagine doing so. The 8 cultivators wanted to flee several times. However, Xiao Chen would quickly catch up with them. With a flash, a dazzling saber light would force them back. Although the saber techniques were infused with the state of massacre, Xiao Chen remained very calm. When he looked at Leng Yu in his arm, he went into deep thought. This is the feeling of controlling the state of massacre. I have to find the trick to doing this. I wonder if it has anything to do with Leng Yu. Xiao Chen was not worried about the 8 people among the petals. He was confident of dealing with another 10 people like this. 15 minutes passed and someone exposed an opening. Xiao Chen focused and countless petals danced about behind him. A sharp saber light flickered on Xiao Chen's saber and his saber intent spewed out. He sent his opponent's weapon flying and hacked at his neck. Blood spurted everywhere and his opponent's head fell into the sea. After one more person died, the rest panicked. They only thought of escaping. However, this resulted in Xiao Chen finding more opportunities. Leng Yu, who was in Xiao Chen's embrace, looked up to see his calm expression. A strange feeling arose in her heart. This youth was different from the other humans she had seen. After another 7 or 8 minutes, Xiao Chen finished dealing with the remaining 7 people. He glanced at the middle-aged swordsman treating his wounds anxiously. Then, Xiao Chen gently set Leng Yu down and descended to the water surface. Wu Kui supporting the heavens. Countless petals danced behind Xiao Chen and boundless red light poured into his body. This resulted in this attack moving at his fastest possible speed, Mach 4.5. The middle-aged swordsman opened his eyes and saw Xiao Chen flying over with countless petals behind him. He laughed maniacally. My wounds have recovered already and yet you still dare to charge over. Idiot. Eagle spreading wings. The middle-aged swordsman stood up and shouted a battle cry ferociously. His sword lit up and a ferocious eagle spread its wings behind him. Then, it launched itself at Xiao Chen with boundless momentum. Kai! Kai! The eagle gave off a resounding cry. A strong wind blew as it flapped its wings. Its sharp talons glistened with a cold light as it clawed at Xiao Chen's head. Be careful! Leng Yu, who was behind Xiao Chen, cried out softly. Xiao Chen's expression remained unchanging. He thrust his saber forward with the countless scarlet petals behind him. The faint red light in Xiao Chen's eyes became bright scarlet as he fully unleashed the state of massacre. The scarlet saber light instantly became very resplendent, making the eyes hurt. Break! Xiao Chen leapt into the air and stabbed the eagle's belly, piercing through. At the same time, the 2 eagle claws struck Xiao Chen's body, scratching out a few bloody wounds. However, that was all it managed while Xiao Chen impaled it completely. Under the swordsman's shocked gaze, Xiao Chen descended quickly from the sky and knocked away his sword before stabbing his chest. Hu Kai! The petals behind Xiao Chen instantly poured into the swordsman's body via his wounds. A huge energy exploded out, throwing the swordsman back several hundred meters. A scarlet wukui tree quickly grew from the swordsman's wound. As the tree grew, its roots extended into his body, wrapping around his internal organs. The wukui tree held down the middle-aged swordsman, who was trying to get up, pinning him in place and preventing him from moving at all. Then, Xiao Chen slowly walked over. Blood dripped down the saber as he approached the middle-aged swordsman. He was going to kill the swordsman without hesitation. Xiao Chen, can you hand this person over to me to deal with? Leng Yu, who followed him, asked in a soft voice, not daring to raise her head to look at him. Xiao Chen was slightly stunned before he understood what Leng Yu meant. Eros demons cultivated by absorbing a male's yang energy. By cultivating with yang energy, strong Eros demons would not be weaker than the other demons. Combined with their charm techniques, they were the natural enemies of male cultivators. Xiao Chen had always felt that Leng Yu was weakened. Ordinary Eros demons would not be this weak, what more an advanced demon. She was demon nobility, someone qualified to learn demonic martial techniques. No matter what, the middle-aged swordsman was still a half-step martial monarch. He would be very useful in helping Leng Yu recover her strength. Xiao Chen was not afraid of Leng Yu posing a threat to him after she became stronger. With the spirit blood jade, he had complete control over her life and death. Xiao Chen stepped forward and dispelled the Wukui tree from the swordsman. Then he pressed on the swordsman's chest quickly with his fingers, sealing the swordsman's meridians. Xiao Chen looked at Leng Yu and said, "Go ahead. I will not disturb you." Normally when Eros demons absorbed yang energy, it happened when men had congress with them. When the man was at the climax of extreme pleasure, he would automatically emit yang energy. There were other ways to extract the yang energy, but their effects would be significantly weaker. No Eros demon would be willing to use those methods. After Xiao Chen spoke, he quickly left the place. He had fought consecutive big battles without rest and exhausted a significant amount of essence. He also needed to deal with his injuries. When Leng Yu saw Xiao Chen leaving, she smiled bitterly. After that, she fixed her gaze on the middle-aged swordsman. A faint light spread out like pollen. The middle-aged swordsman's eyes filled with horror. He knew what was going to happen. So he struggled on the water, trying to stand up. However, the swordsman was helpless. His internal organs were all injured and his meridians were sealed. Every time he tried, he failed. Don't come over." Leng Yu ignored the pleas of the swordsman. Her gaze was cold as she controlled the pollen-like lights to enter his body. At first the middle-aged swordsman resisted. Eventually, his eyes turned hazy. He revealed a faint smile on his face. The swordsman now looked happy and relaxed, like he was experiencing something pleasurable. Many delusions of affection and love appeared in his mind. After a while, Leng Yu made her move. She grabbed the swordsman's head with one hand and closed her eyes. Yang energy flowed into her body. This method was completely different from the method Xiao Chen imagined. If he had known, he would not have gone away. As the yang energy poured into Leng Yu's body, her wounds healed at a visible pace. Leng Yu's soft and tender skin became smoother and glossier, it even glowed faintly. Her face became radiant and her fair skin seemed delicate enough to break at the slightest touch. Bang! Leng Yu released the swordsman, and he slowly sank into the water, no longer breathing. Before he died, he had a happy smile on his face. Then, Leng Yu took the swordsman's spatial ring without opening it and headed for Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen sat cross-legged on the Scarlet Sea. He held 4 medial-grade spirit stones in his hands. When he heard Leng Yu's footsteps, he opened his eyes. Then, he put away the medial-grade spirit stones, which were not completely drained yet. "Who?" Leng Yu tossed the spatial ring to Xiao Chen. He stretched his hand out and caught it. Then, he scanned it with his spiritual sense before placing it in his universe ring. When Xiao Chen saw the radiant Leng Yu, he frowned slightly. He felt some displeasure, but when he remembered that she was an Eros demon, he realized it would be unfair to judge her by human standards. Xiao Chen stopped thinking about this matter. He asked, "I want to ask you a few things." Leng Yu nodded and said, "I will tell you what I can. As for what I cannot, don't force me." Xiao Chen smiled gently and said, "Don't overthink this. I am not interested in your identity or status. My first question, how long did I sleep? 10 days. Unexpectedly, I slept for so long. Draining my mental energy is too dangerous. This time, if not for Leng Yu's help, I might have been killed by demons or malicious humans. It looks like I should be more cautious in the future. I have not tempered my mental energy, it is rough and not suitable for use in combat. Xiao Chen glanced at Leng Yu and said softly, "Thank you for helping in the past 10 days. Second question. What do you know about witch fiends? Especially that final advanced witch fiend?" Leng Yu thought for a while before replying, "Witch fiends are not that mysterious. They exist everywhere. They are formed where the resentment of cultivators or demons accumulate. When the quantity is sufficient, it will possess a skeleton and form a witch fiend. This is very common in this kind of battlefield where countless numbers of humans and demons have died in the past thousands of years. It is not surprising for witch fiends to exist here. However, that final advanced witch fiend is quite ridiculous." Xiao Chen showed some surprise, and then he asked, "How is it ridiculous?" "It is ridiculously strong. An advanced witch fiend should not be that strong. Furthermore, its aura was very gentle and felt holy. I have never seen this kind of witch fiend before. Indeed, it was ridiculously strong. It was able to use mental energy to that extent. Just thinking about it made Xiao Chen shudder. However, there was no need to worry about the advanced witch fiend for now. That witch fiend would not leave the bottom of the sea. As long as Xiao Chen did not go and seek trouble, he would be fine. He should stop thinking about using witch fiends to strengthen his mental energy. That kind of untempered mental energy is useless, no matter how much I have." Xiao Chen had already wasted 10 days. After resting for a while, he did not hesitate to continue his experiential training. He wanted to completely grasp that state of massacre. Otherwise, he could encounter a lot of hidden dangers. One day, he might turn into a slave to massacre, being controlled by the strange Scarlet Throne. Xiao Chen avoided the other cultivators. Along the way, he chose his opponents carefully. He stopped at a rather desolate area. There was a group of blood demons, who just finished a battle, 2 kilometers north. The battle ended in the humans' defeat. The blood demons were currently feasting on the corpses. The scene looked very cruel. No matter how many similar scenes Xiao Chen had seen before, he felt sorrow in his heart. Such a scene was the most miserable for the fallen cultivators. Xiao Chen closed his eyes and regulated his emotions. He only took action when he recovered his calm. Life bestowal spell. Xiao Chen shouted and 10 odd human figures condensed above the water from the scarlet water. They looked very realistic. One would not be able to tell that they were fake just by looking at them. Xiao Chen was already extremely familiar. Xiao Chen drew the lunar shadow saber. It flickered with a scarlet light and an intense battle began. One high-ranked blood demon was equivalent to a superior-grade martial king. Killing 12 high-ranked blood demons was much harder than killing the 9 superior-grade martial kings from earlier. The battle lasted a very long time. In the intense battle, Xiao Chen executed all his martial techniques and movement techniques to the fullest. In the end, Xiao Chen had no other way to end the battle but to wield his state of massacre at its limit. Once again, his mind became obsessed and controlled by the depravity of massacre. Xiao Chen's saber techniques immediately became much sharper. He looked more like a demon than the demons when his eyes turned scarlet. Blood never stopped dripping down the pitch-black saber. Xiao Chen's robes were dyed red once again. After Xiao Chen killed the final high-ranked blood demon, a copious amount of red lights formed by killing intent flew out of the blood demon corpses and into his forehead. The blood pool in the Scarlet Throne filled up very quickly. The desire to massacre, for bloodshed, that Xiao Chen had been suppressing for a long time erupted. Rationality and bloodlust clashed. Xiao Chen fell into a state of boundless pain again. His expression became very horrifying. Shoo! A dim light flashed. Leng Yu appeared and her pure face instantly turned incredibly charming. When she opened her big, round eyes, she looked very beautiful. It felt like one glance at her was sufficient for him to fall for her charms. It was very strange. The moment Leng Yu appeared, Xiao Chen's pain decreased significantly. His eyes turned from scarlet to crimson. The desire to massacre also vanished, replaced by a primal instinct. A hazy illusion appeared before Xiao Chen's eyes. The Leng Yu before him seemed to have become his most perfect goddess. Leng Yu looked pure and charming. Her smile was soul-entrancing. It felt like Xiao Chen saw the lover that he had long been waiting for. This kind of charm technique did not rely just on the temptation of pure lust. Instead, it penetrated deep into the heart, evoking that nebulous emotion in one's heart. She is the one you have been looking for. She is the one who can accompany you to the end of the martial path. Even if the sky fell and the seas dried up and the mountains toppled over, she will always silently accompany you till the end of time. Such words constantly rang out in Xiao Chen's mind, like hypnotism. They kept repeating until one accepted them as the truth. This created a desire to have her, to possess her, her body, her spirit, her everything. The most frightening thing was that this was not weaker than his bloodlust. Xiao Chen relied on his strong willpower to resist this temptation, to deal with his frustrations. When Leng Yu saw that Xiao Chen had now forgotten the desire to massacre, she smiled faintly and dispelled her charm. Then she stood before Xiao Chen with a calm expression. After a long time, Xiao Chen opened his eyes. They had already returned to normal. When he looked at Leng Yu now, he believed what she said previously. Only I can pull you back from the depravity of massacre. Xiao Chen said calmly, your charm technique seems to have improved. Does it have anything to do with the earlier matter? Of course, the earlier matter referred to Leng Yu absorbing the swordsman's yang energy. She nodded without denying it. Xiao Chen looked at Leng Yu and discovered that she was hiding more than he had imagined. He asked straightforwardly, if one day, you do not dispel your charm technique and I fall for it completely, what will happen? Leng Yu revealed a gentle smile on her pure and innocent face. She said ambiguously, who knows? It seems like the spirit blood jade will not be able to completely restrain her, Xiao Chen thought to himself, keeping his guard up. If Leng Yu successfully charmed me, it would be very easy for her to escape the control of the spirit blood jade. Without saying any more, Xiao Chen purified some water from the Scarlet Sea and washed himself. Then, he resumed his experiential training. Xiao Chen had not truly grasped the state of massacre yet. He had to reach the point where he still had a calm heart even when the thought of massacre filled his mind. Only then would he be successful. Time slowly passed in a similar manner. Xiao Chen wandered deeper and deeper into the inner area. The demons that he fought also became stronger. Every battle was intense and risky. Xiao Chen nearly died on several occasions. When he tread the line of life and death, he repeatedly broke through his own limits. The pool of blood in the Scarlet Throne also became a lake of blood. It was now much larger than before. With a thought, the surging state of massacre could spew out instantly. However, when Xiao Chen used the state of massacre to the limit, that sense of depravity, of sinking into bloodlust, grew stronger. If Leng Yu had not been helping him, he might not have been able to endure for long. Xiao Chen fought battle after battle, day after day, and night after night. There were non-stop fights and non-stop massacres enriching his combat experience considerably. Xiao Chen gained a better understanding of his saber techniques and fist techniques in battle. Sometimes, he could even make small changes to the martial techniques to tailor them to himself. The cruelty of the deep-sea battlefield hardened Xiao Chen's resolve. The cultivators who died and became the demon's lunch served as motivation for him to continuously improve. If Xiao Chen did not wish to become the demon's lunch, his only option was to keep growing stronger. On this particular day, after Xiao Chen finished a battle, Leng Yu pulled him out of the depravity of massacre again. Then, she made a request. I don't want to return to the spirit blood jade in the future. I don't like the environment there. Xiao Chen had known for a long time now that Leng Yu did not like the environment in there. That day, when she was severely injured, she had refused to return to the spirit blood jade. Something must have happened for her to feel extreme horror and fear about it. Xiao Chen muttered, "Sure. If you don't want to go in, then don't go in." Lang Yu felt somewhat surprised. She had not expected Xiao Chen to agree to her request so easily. After all, if humans saw an Eros demon following him, it would be problematic. Lang Yu lowered her head and said softly, "Thank you." Boom, boom, boom. Just at this moment, Xiao Chen heard a loud explosion coming from a distance. Ripples spread out on the surface of the Scarlet Sea. The ripples reached Xiao Chen and a strong energy came from them. Caught by surprise, Xiao Chen was knocked off his feet. Fortunately, he reacted very quickly. He exerted some force and stood up again. He sent out vital chi from his feet and the energies clashed, raising a 10-odd meter wall of water before Xiao Chen. What a powerful person. Even this far, the remnant energies of their attacks are still so strong. That person should be a great perfection half-step martial monarch, Xiao Chen thought to himself. This is not the deepest part of the inner area. There should not be many strong cultivators here. After thinking for a while, Xiao Chen decided to go over and take a look. 15 minutes later, he could see the scene of the battle with his spiritual sense. A young cultivator in bright yellow robes floated above the Scarlet Sea. He was fighting more than 20 winged demons alone. Flaming palm. The young man shouted and sent out thousands of flaming palms that exploded on the group of winged demons. Instantly, several winged demons were significantly injured. When the flaming palms exploded, they chained together to form an intense shock wave that spread out. This was probably the cause of the ripples on the Scarlet Sea that Xiao Chen encountered earlier. When Xiao Chen saw all this, he was very astonished. Even he did not dare to deal with so many winged demons simultaneously by himself. He would only take on 15, at most, in one go. The greatest surprise for Xiao Chen was that person's age. He looked very young, not much older than Xiao Chen. Yet, that person was already a half-step martial monarch. Furthermore, his combat prowess seemed to be equivalent to Bai Lixi's. There should not be any genius like this in the Four Nations. This should be a genius of the great Jin nation, or an expert from the boundless sea. The flying speed of the winged demons was very fast. Every time that youth blocked an attack, another attack would follow. If he got surrounded, no matter how high his cultivation was, he would be finished. This youth did not panic. He gathered ice-attributed spiritual energy in his hand and strands of white cold chi appeared. Then, he pushed the cold chi forward gently. Bow! Sparkly frost spread through the group of winged demons. The sparkly frost around the winged demons immediately turned into hard ice and they slowed down. The youth took advantage of this opportunity to fly backwards, opening the distance between him and the demons. Then, he used an AoE fire-attributed attack again. This cycle repeated several times. The expression on that youth's face remained calm at all times. Although there were many winged demons, everything was within his control. The winged demons could not attack him at all. This youth seemed very familiar with alternating between ice and fire. The transition was very smooth. When used together with his peak movement technique, it gave off the feeling that he was playing around with the winged demons. However, Xiao Chen knew that this person was playing with fire. He was dancing on the edge of a knife. All it took was one small mistake and he would die, becoming the lunch of these demons. However, this youth did have the right to dance on the knife's edge. Perhaps the huge scarlet palm pressed down like a small hill. The sea churned and waves surged. Xiao Chen looked very tiny beneath that huge palm. Xiao Chen had been keeping his guard up against that youth. However, he had not expected the youth to unleash such a powerful killing move. Surprisingly, the youth completed this in an instant. His speed was unimaginable. However, now was not the time for astonishment and panic. The huge palm covered a large area, leaving Xiao Chen no place to run to. The surging cold qi also ended his thoughts of diving into the sea. Xiao Chen was afraid that the instant he dived into the sea, he would be frozen solid by this cold qi and killed. There was no place to run or dodge. That meant he had only one option left. Scarlet bolts of lightning tore across the dark sky. A scarlet wukui tree grew quickly above Xiao Chen. When the scarlet wukui tree formed completely, a scarlet light condensed on Xiao Chen's saber. The light elongated rapidly, rushing at the huge palm pressing down. Bang! When Xiao Chen infused his saber intent into this sharp scarlet saber light, it became even sharper than before. It was unknown how much stronger this wukui breaks the heavens was. The light flashed and instantly tore a hole in the center of the huge scarlet palm. Cracks spread throughout the palm, and just before it touched Xiao Chen's head, it shattered and turned into countless ice shards. The remnant saber intent shattered the ice shards that filled the air even further, turning them into drops of scarlet water as they fell back into the sea. Suddenly, the area around Xiao Chen looked like there was scarlet rain. Xiao Chen looked forward and saw that the yellow-robed cultivator had disappeared already. The blood demon corpses were missing as well. Interesting. I was wondering how he could dare to clash with me when he doesn't even have half his essence left. Xiao Chen was not afraid of arrogant genius cultivators. For this kind of people, no matter how excellent their talents were, or how powerful they were, they would have limited success. The ones Xiao Chen was afraid of were those who knew when to advance or retreat. Geniuses who would not make a move if they were not confident, retreating when necessary and not doing anything stupid, such people were terrifying. Lang Yu walked over and said in a soft voice, "Sorry, I caused trouble for you." One of the main reasons why the youth attacked was Lang Yu. When he saw Xiao Chen being so close to an Eros demon, he was afraid that Xiao Chen was untrustworthy. He did not believe that Xiao Chen was only passing by and not trying to take advantage of him. Xiao Chen shook his head and said, "There is no need to apologize. Unless we are entering into the encampments of humans, I will not force you to return to the spirit blood jade unless necessary. If you do not want to go in, you can remain outside." Lang Yu could not understand. Xiao Chen was clearly someone who weighed the pros and cons, using the results to make a decision. He had always been very decisive. So, she could not figure out why he agreed to her ridiculous request when he clearly knew that it would cause trouble. Not bothering with what Lang Yu was thinking about, Xiao Chen kept staring at the calm scarlet sea and considering the youth from earlier. Xiao Chen did not know where this genius came from. Indeed, there were still many hidden talents in the younger generation. He had been looking at the world from the bottom of a well. He still had a long way to go. As of now, his strength might be at the peak of the four nations' youths. Aside from the disciples of the royal courts, probably no one else could compete. However, when Xiao Chen took the whole world into account, not to even mention the great Jin nation, there might be many youths stronger than him in this boundless sea. Just at this moment, Xiao Chen's expression turned grave. He had an inkling of danger. So, he scanned the area to the west with his spiritual sense and found several middle-ranked fire demons riding fire clouds and heading over to this place. "Quick, let's leave. We can't stay here." Xiao Chen did not give Lang Yu any time to react. He quickly carried her and executed the Azure Dragon cloud soaring art, rushing forward. Bang! 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 Right after Xiao Chen left, a huge fireball landed where he stood previously. The fireball immediately exploded and a hemispherical hole appeared in the calm sea. A large volume of seawater was instantly vaporized by the high temperature. The surrounding water quickly filled in the void and a large whirlpool appeared. Of all the demons, the one that Xiao Chen was the most wary of was the fire demon. While they had the lowest defense, they had the highest offense and the best techniques. With 4 or 5 middle-ranked demons, even if Xiao Chen survived, he would be severely injured. Xiao Chen had tried that before. Since then, he could not be bothered with fire demons. He would immediately flee and not make contact at all. Now, more than 10 middle-ranked fire demons chased Xiao Chen, sending out incessant attacks. This caused the water behind Xiao Chen to churn and splash up. The middle-ranked fire demons were more irritating than the low-ranked ones. They moved very fast as well. Even using the Azure Dragon Cloud soaring art, Xiao Chen could not shake them off quickly. Now that he was carrying one person, it would take him quite some time to shake off this tail. Xiao Chen used his spiritual sense to scan around continuously, to plan the best route. This saved him from going in the wrong direction and running into other demons. Suddenly, Xiao Chen revealed a smile on his face. He picked up a familiar figure in front. It looked like this situation would not be as problematic as it was before. Xiao Chen's figure flickered, increasing his speed. After 7 or 8 minutes, he arrived before that person. "Old bye, it's been a long time. Help me out here." That familiar person was a figure completely clad in medial-grade secret treasures. It was Bai Lixi, whom Xiao Chen had not seen for a while. At this moment, Bai Lixi had just finished a battle and was happily sweeping the place for spoils and gaining a lot in the process. When Bai Lixi saw Xiao Chen's somewhat miserable appearance, he stopped what he was doing and laughed loudly. "I just knew that you would not know your limits and come into the inner area. You ran into trouble, right? Looks like old Bai, will have to make a move at the crucial moment." Xiao Chen smiled faintly and did not deny it. Naturally. Bai Lixi tilted his head and looked behind Xiao Chen. He saw more than 10 fire demons flying quickly after Xiao Chen. His expression instantly changed and he retreated a few steps back. "Damn it. I knew that it would not be anything good if you were looking for me. Of all the demons you could have stirred up, it had to be fire demons." Lang Yu, who was in Xiao Chen's embrace, smiled at Bai Lixi and said in a lovable manner, "Big brother, please help out. I beg of you." When Bai Lixi heard this, he felt dizzy and his heart beat very hard. Unexpectedly, a shy blush appeared on his coarse face. "All right, I'll help just this once." Bai Lixi no longer dared to look at Lang Yu. He leapt up and arrived behind Xiao Chen. By the time Bai Lixi stood firmly, he came back to his senses. "What am I doing? This is a group of more than 10 fire demons." However, there was no more time for Bai Lixi to hesitate. The attacks of the fire demons were already landing around him. With Bai Lixi's help, Xiao Chen fled quickly, bringing Lang Yu more than a kilometer away before coming to a halt. He was not worried for Bai Lixi's safety. Back then, the Black Dragon Group's ancient demonic energy cannons could not do anything to him at all. Just these 10-odd middle-ranked fire demons would not be able to do anything, either. Bai Lixi's set of medial-grade secret treasures was not for nothing. At most, he would feel some pain. Bang! 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 Xiao Chen could hear the constant explosions at the distance. Waves soared more than a kilometer away. By the time they reached Xiao Chen, they were still very strong. After an hour, the explosions ended. The sea also stopped surging. The battle was probably over. Xiao Chen put Lang Yu down and quickly moved forward, going to the place where he left Bai Lixi. Bai Lixi was charred black and his hair was smoking. He sat miserably on the sea, catching his breath. 5 or 6 fire demons' corpses floated on the sea beside him. The remaining fire demons were gone, frightened away by Bai Lixi's ridiculous defense. The person who could make the fire demons feel like that was Bai Lixi alone. When Bai Lixi heard Xiao Chen's and Lang Yu's footsteps, he got to his feet and looked at Xiao Chen. His charred face looked very helpless as he said, "Brat, this time, I ended up in a miserable state because of you." Lang Yu smiled gently and said, "Thank you, big brother." When Bai Lixi saw Lang Yu's smile, he was startled. He quickly said, "Little sister, please stop smiling at me. I cannot endure anymore." The slender, black tail behind Lang Yu betrayed her identity. Bai Lixi had not noticed it earlier, when she was in Xiao Chen's embrace. Now that he saw it clearly, he quickly put some distance between them. Then, he pulled Xiao Chen aside and whispered, "You don't look like you were charmed by the Eros demon. What's up with her?" Xiao Chen did not want to explain too much. He said seriously, "I know what I'm doing. I will not fall for her charms, we have an agreement." Bai Lixi waved off Xiao Chen's reassurance and said, "I can't be bothered with your matters. I have to go back. I'll say this first, the spirit stones for restoring my secret treasures will be paid by you. Now." Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, "Don't worry. I will go back with you. I have not returned for 3 months already. It is time I went back and rested." When Bai Lixi heard this, he stared at Xiao Chen like he was looking at a monster. He had not expected Xiao Chen to have been wandering outside for 3 months without returning. Knowing that Xiao Chen was going to return to the humans' base camp, Leng Yu did not say anything. She simply turned into a beam of dim light and entered the spirit blood jade. Along the way, Bai Lixi was very shocked to hear about Xiao Chen's experiences. He also felt very curious. It was very strange that Xiao Chen had not returned to rest at all in the past 3 months. One had to know that when one was immersed in massacre, one would always be in a tense mental state. After a long time, one's mind would grow fatigued. Ordinary people would have to vent themselves properly,